Welcome back to Dajiban life. It's been a while since I last posted. I think it's been about a year, even though I said last time in the last video that hopefully it wouldn't take another year to post another video, but I think it's been over a year now. So my apologies. So I bought another van, mostly because I needed a tow rig, and I guess I could have made this one work, my old van here. But as you can tell, it's a 1500, and you can tell because it has 5 lugs, although some 2500s came in 5 lug varieties as well. I was kind of sketched out about towing, you know, kind of heavy loads, and also the tow load rating on the 1500s I don't think is that high. It might be around 4,000 pounds, something like that, even though it probably wouldn't be an issue. So I thought, you know, let me find a more tow ready rig, and I probably should have just bought a truck, honestly, like a diesel truck or something, but I wanted to stay in the Dajiban community because I do like them, even though they're super impractical and they're kind of dumb. But it's just kind of fun. And so I ended up buying this one here. It was in New Mexico, so I did have to fly there to drive it back to where I live. So all in, it probably cost around 2,500 bucks, I think. But it only has 80,000 miles, and it is a window van, as you can see. So no more, you know, PDF van here. Even though no windows is kind of nice because you have a lot of privacy that way. But since I'm not going to be living in my van anymore, I figured, you know, getting a window van would be nicer. And this one is decked out, man. Like, look at this. It's got power windows and locks. Oh, man. That's crazy. I never had power windows and locks in pretty much any of my cars, other than some of them, I guess, do have them. But in general, I normally just get all manual everything. I've actually had this van for probably, I don't know, probably over a year now. It's just sat here because I planned on messing with it, and then, you know, like, life happened. But anyway, here we are. I'm finally going to be starting work on it, but it's all stock. You can see it has the seats, 4-row seating or 3-row seating, I guess. It's like a 10-passenger van, I believe. It's got full interior, which is nice because my old van didn't have interior. Let's go look at the give you the grand tour here. It's got the 8-lug wheels, like I said. It's got these little step thingies that I'm actually going to take off. So if anybody wants that, let me know, and I can we can work out a deal or something. I might just send them to you, honestly, if you pay for shipping, because I don't really want the little steps there. Oops. It even came with the remote. Look at that. So yeah, pretty good, pretty good. It's missing a couple of trim pieces here and there, but nothing too major, nothing that I really care about too much. Looks like a speaker grill here is falling off, but you know, it's even got a fire extinguisher, which is probably expired by now. But these seats recline and everything. I think I am going to be pretty much replacing the full interior though, with the one in the other van, just because I would keep these seats, but the driver's seat, the cushion is all mangled and it has no support on one side, and I don't feel, I guess I could go source another one and swap it out. But I have decent seats, I think from like a Mazda or something in my old van, which I've made seat brackets and everything for, so swapping them out shouldn't be too hard. This axle is a 411 Dana 60, I believe. This is going to be good for towing, right? Not that the 392 and the old van, the 1500, would have been bad for towing. I think that would have worked fine. But I don't know, it's just something about the lugs. The 5 lugs just seemed kind of sketchy to me. I felt sketchy about it. And then also the body is wrecked. Also, you know, still. I'll show you guys from the hit and run accident, which I haven't fixed. I can maybe try to pull this out at some point. I don't know how easy that'll be though. This metal's pretty thick because it's a van. I don't know what to do with this van now once I switch everything over to this one. Maybe I'll sell it, or try to sell it, maybe, you know, try to get some of the dents out and let it go for real cheap, like, you know, 500 bucks. I mean, this is a 2000 73 model, I believe. And it's got the disc brakes in the back on the axle, which is pretty rare. That's kind of desirable, I think, with the disc brakes. This one with the Dana axle has drum brakes. I think the first thing I'm gonna do with this van is to lower it, right? That's what we do. That's what I'm used to doing, is lowering all my vehicles, because, you know, I don't know, it just happens. And so what I'll be doing is, actually, I looked online, and the springs I put in were the Moog 7390s in the old van. And I looked online and they're not available anymore. So I could just swap them over, like one for one, right? Like just take these out, put them in here. But that wouldn't help you guys at all. People who are watching this, wondering how to lower their van in 2026. And so I actually bought a set of springs that are available online. I don't know if they still are. I bought these a while ago. I think they're in that white box there. But they are the 7394s. I believe they're for the Ram pickup truck, for the diesel model, the Cummins 5.9, right? I think that model. And so we'll test it out and see how they are. In the rear, I have 3500 springs on the old van. So I'll be taking those off there and then swapping them over to this one with the 2500 springs, right? And just suspension swapping basically over with new springs in the front. And I might be taking the shocks out of this one as well, because they are newer. And then maybe we'll be doing some suspension work while we're down there, see what's wrong with it. It drives fine, so I don't know what would be wrong with it, but we'll find stuff as we go. So this will be kind of a full tow rig build out, pretty much, I think, as long as I have money to do it. Which is kind of tight right now, but you know, we'll figure something out. But yeah, enough yapping, and let's start getting to work. Let's see what we're working with here. Ball joint looks okay, but it might need to be replaced because the boot looks a little dry. I'm sure they haven't done any sort of suspension service on this van since it has 80,000 miles. You can see here there's a lot of rust on the steering stuff. That's just surface stuff though, it's not that bad. The lower ball joint looks like a lot of the grease is gone. It's squeezed out here, but it is a greasable fitting on it. So does the top ball joint. They are kind of rusty, so it might be better just to replace them, possibly. I mean, the van didn't drive weird, so it's probably pretty good, but everything else looks pretty normal up in here, except for the surface rust. The brakes don't look too bad either. They're kind of rusty, so I might take them off and rebuild them. Just, you know, re-grease all the pins and everything, right? And then sand it down or whatever, clean it up and paint them maybe. Might want to check the bearings while I'm at it maybe. Before we do that though, let's get the wheel off on this other side. Pretty much same condition on this side. So first things first, let's go ahead and remove these little step-up thingies on both sides. Just held in by self-tappers, it looks like. Alright, now let's go ahead and take apart the front end here to get the spring out. And in case if you're wondering, basically take the front springs out. You have to, the way that I do it is basically undo the ball joint here at the top, right? So then the knuckle will swing out basically, and then the sway bar is in the way, and the, what do you call it? I don't remember what anything's called anymore. The bump stop is also in the way, as well as the front I guess it's called a radius arm. So you undo those 2 bolts there, and then loosen this so that the spring can slide out once you compress it. I'm also going to take the caliper off first, just because it'll make things a little bit easier. Technically I guess you don't have to, but I found that it does kind of get in the way. It's a little bit harder to get to things with the caliper on, so I'm going to do that. The steering tie rod you don't really have to take off, but a lot of stuff is crusty here, as you can see, so I think eventually I will. Alright, well, I got all that stuff off, and I got the ball joint nut loose, so we'll see if this will come off now if I knock on it hard enough. But I sort of doubt it. It looks like this hasn't been touched since it was new, which I guess is kind of a good thing, because you know everything's like original. But I might have to take this stuff off here, but I guess we'll try whacking on it right there and see what happens. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. So what we're gonna do then is take the rotor off and then see if that'll help get this thing off. Wheel bearing. I mean, it still looks pretty good. Feels good. So I don't know if it's worth reusing. These are pretty cheap. They're like 10 bucks. So I might buy new ones just to replace them. We're gonna take this dust cover off so we could smack it right there basically and not worry about anything. Also, I have power tools now. Oh man, power tools changed my life. Even though there's some bolts that you still can't get to with the power tool, which is kind of a bummer, but these I can. Alright, we're gonna take the ABS sensor off, just so I don't smack it on accident. Alright, we're just gonna smack it right there. Maybe I should put something under it just in case I do that. Yep, it popped. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to transfer the caliper to the other side because there's some tension on the brake line here. Alright, with that out of the way, I don't know why they designed it like that. They should have put the lines to come around the other side. It's very inconvenient. But you know what they say, the designers, engineers don't really think about the mechanics. So, because a couple times in my old van, I forgot to put this back to the other side when I put it back together. And I had to take it all apart because I forgot the brake caliper. When I went to go put the brake caliper on, I was like, oh shit. But anyway, the only thing that's left now, whew, I'm out of breath, I'm getting old, is to undo the shock top mount, and then the bottom bolts for that. Take the shocks out, and then the spring should just slide right out once you compress the lower control arm down to give it some space. Alright, checking the ball joints here. The top one seems pretty good actually. Doesn't seem too bad. It's slightly crunchy, but probably just needs to be greased. But it's actually not that bad. And then the bottom one, I mean, I can't fully tell because it's still mounted, but it feels okay. So, and these are greasable. So, I mean, they are kind of rusted out though, as you can see. And so I wonder if I should just replace it, or maybe I'll just roll with them for a while and then replace them later. I don't know. I really don't feel like taking all this stuff apart again if I don't have to. So let me know what you think in the comments, what I should do. Either replace or just reuse. These are probably the original ball joints, and honestly they're probably better than anything out on the market, anything aftermarket. So, but I mean, they probably do have some wear. I mean, 80,000 miles at least, right? Well, there's the shock out. Looks like it's a Gas Magnum HD. Looks like a Monroe, honestly. Probably the same ones I have in the old van here, but these were just from factory. So, pretty cool. They're still good. I can't compress them by hand, so maybe they'll be reused. It looks like the bushings are pretty shot though. They put anti-seize on the ears here for some reason. I don't know why you would do that. But yeah, so now it's just about lowering the control arm so that the spring can fall out. Alright, well, there it is. Stock spring from a 2500 Dodge van. Looks like the, what do you call these? The spring seats or whatever. Pretty good shape. I think I might reuse the ones from the old van though, because of the ride height. I don't know, maybe I'll just try them with these, because I did get different springs. But yeah, that's how you remove the old springs, the stock ones. And then now I have to remove the springs from the old van, from the other van, so that I can put these in. So I could put that one back to stock ride height, and then drop the new lowering springs in. So here they are, side by side. Am I in the light? There you go. So this one is the stock spring, right? And then this is the 7394 Moogs. I found them on Amazon. I'll put up a screenshot or something of it somewhere on the screen so you can see it. It's still available to buy. These are not for the van. These are for the truck, right? I think this is for the diesel truck version. And so they are a little bit lower, as you can see, but they are also wound a little tighter. And I know there was a 7392. There used to exist. It's out of production now, discontinued 7392s. But I believe the 7390s were for the 1500. 7392s were for the 2500, and I believe these are for the diesel or something like that. I don't know exactly how those work, but I'm guessing these will be a little bit stiffer, and the ride might be, yeah, the ride just might be a little bit stiffer than the ones I have in that van. But I'll take the springs out of that one out now, right, since I have to put in the stock springs anyway, and then we'll compare them. We'll put them side by side with the new one here, the 7394, and see what the differences are. Oh, and then I remembered, I thought of something. I was like, you know what, instead of installing the new springs that I have in this van, right, I could probably just take the old springs out of that one and put the new springs in this one and see what the difference is in the ride height. That'd be an easier way to test it versus, like, you know, because the back's not lowered. This van's already lowered in the back and stuff, even though it might be a little off because it won't have settled. I'm not going to drive this van around at all with the new springs, but you can get a kind of a general sense. I'm guessing it's going to be about the same, maybe slightly higher as far as right height goes, which I'm not bothered by. Maybe a 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch higher doesn't really make that much of a difference to me. And in retrospect, I probably should have started in the back with the back suspension. But you know, that's kind of how the order of operations went, so we're just gonna roll with it for now. Alright, well, we got the the front end apart here, and we're going to compare the shocks first. They're both, looks like gas magnum. The part numbers are a little different. This one's 34831 and this one's P269, I don't know, NA, I think, at the back there. But they look pretty much identical. So I think from factory they must have installed Monroe's. So in case you're wondering, your OE spec shock is going to be from Monroe. And then here are the springs. So this is the old one right here, right? Maybe I should have put it on the same side as the shock so it's not confusing, but anyway, this is the 7390s, right? And this is the 7396, and right away you can tell the difference. The coils are definitely a lot thicker on the 7396, probably because it's for the diesel model, I believe. I think the coil at the bottom here is more of a progressive style or something. I don't know what you call that, but the coil kind of gets less, there's less angle on the spiral, and then this one just kind of continues all the way down. So these definitely look more heavy duty, and as far as ride height goes, they're also, I think, a little bit bigger, it looks like. So these might actually not fit. They look wider for some reason. Let me see here. We got that circle and that. No, I guess they're about the same width, but the metal coils are definitely thicker on the 7396s. So I'm thinking, just from the looking at these, that the ride height's gonna be significantly higher on the new springs here, the 7396s. So they might be a little bit too high for my taste, so I might be reusing these. But I guess in the name of science, we'll have to install these and see how it looks, and then make a decision from there. But yeah, now I gotta pull all this shit back together. Alright, well, I got pretty much mostly everything back together. The radius rod would not, wasn't really lining up, and I didn't reattach the strut bar. But just to get a sense of what this looks like, I think this should be good enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower this. That looks like the final ride height, sort of. It's quite a bit higher. The 7390s, I think the ride height was about here. This is the fender. Came to right about here, about 2 finger space. This, obviously, we got a whole hand. There is something, when I was putting it in, I noticed that the spring isolator, or the spring seat, the rubber insulator pad thingy for the spring, since the spring coils were thicker, that kind of bulged out more. And when I was taking out the old spring was kind of stuck in there, you know what I mean, because of the rubber insulator, kind of like, it was like, you know, around the spring, and it was stuck in there, so I had to like pry it out. So I'm thinking this time, since the spring coils were thicker, the rubber isolator thing bulged out more, so it might not be sitting all the way flush inside the spring perch, right? It's kind of the feeling I'm getting. I should have probably like oiled it or greased it or something so that it would slide in easier into the actual perch. So I'm not sure that this is all the way down. So yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. I was thinking, maybe I should take some of it apart again to oil it so that it seats properly and then look at it, but I figured, you know, maybe when I let it down on the ground, it'll just like force its way up in there, but without, you know, driving around on it and letting it sort of settle up in there, I'm not sure that it would actually do that. It was pretty tight going in. So let me go ahead and maybe try to jump on the bumper or something a little bit and see if it'll settle at all. It seemed pretty solid though, so it might just be stuck, you know, maybe a quarter of the inch or something, half an inch, like almost all the way seated, but it's just kind of stuck there right now. And driving it around would definitely help it to settle, but I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, let me just try jumping around on it and see if that helps. Well, I tried jumping around on it. I also jacked it up and then just like slammed it down onto the suspension. If anything, it's actually a little bit higher now than before. Now I can get my full hand in it. It was, I think it was 4 fingers before, but now I can get all 5. So it could be because the driver's side is lower right now. It's on the old spring, the 7390 spring. And so, you know, this side could be kind of, because there's more weight on that side, and this side's lighter. It's just a little bit higher. So either way, these springs are definitely a lot higher. I think even if they were evened out, it might drop down maybe an inch or 2 on this side. So you would get maybe a 3 to 4 finger gap regardless. And that's a little bit too much gap for me. I think this is definitely lower than stock ride height, because the original van springs, which are here, oh god, that's heavy. They are a lot taller than these. Oh man, these are so much heavier. So yeah, these coils, even though they're shorter, they're definitely thicker too, right? Because there's 6, 7 coils here, 6, 7 coils here, 6, 7. But even though it is slightly shorter, I would say about 2 inches maybe shorter, right? Because they are thicker, they don't compress as much, and when they do, it's stiffer, right? So I think it might be maybe slightly lower than stock actually. And if we do a side by side comparison, actually it looks like the 7396s are a little bit taller than the 7390s as well. The 7390s, the coils are definitely thinner than stock. So the 7396 are definitely the thickest coil, then it's the stock coil, then it's the 7390s in order of thickness of coil, and then height, the 7390s are the lowest. I'm guessing the stock springs and the 7396s aren't going to be that much different as far as ride height is concerned. The 7396 might be slightly lower, maybe by half an inch to an inch, and then but the ride is going to be a lot stiffer on these because the coils are so much thicker. And then the 7390s are definitely going to compress more, right? And this is going to be an ultra soft ride. Like, these rode really well. I really like the feeling of these, the 7390s. So yeah, I guess that experiment was sort of worth it. I guess I'm going to be installing the old springs from my old van into this van, and then the 7396s, I don't know, I guess I'll just try to sell them or something on Facebook Marketplace or something. They weren't too expensive, but yeah, it is kind of waste of money. But now you know, in the name of science. I'll try to dig around and see if anything other than these 7396s are available, but I think they were all discontinued. So if you want to get a set of these, you might have to pull them from a junkyard. And these are the Moogs, so I think the OE springs would come out of a 1500 Ram, probably, or a 2500. It's hard to tell, honestly. I think it was a 1500 is what these came out of. So you might want to get the Ram truck springs from the same model year as your van, and then that'll pretty much give you the same drop as this guy right here. Alright, well, I guess I gotta do all that again. Just take it apart. But I'll do that off camera. I will probably check to see that the spring seated all the way properly, and if it didn't, then I might rerun the test I probably should have just done that to begin with, but I'm pretty sure it's settled for the most part, like 90% there, you know what I mean? And I don't know that the 10% is going to make a huge difference. So I was going to do the entire suspension, front and back, in one video, but this video is getting really long. So I figured I would cut this video here, and then in the next video, we'll start putting together the front for this van again. And you can see that I've done on some work already, but I'll get into that the next video. Alright, well, let me know if this longer format is better for you guys to watch, because usually what I did was I would just kind of do a vlog style of whatever I got done in a weekend. I would just post that, you know, and usually they ran about 10-15 minutes long. But in this video, I figured I would go more in depth and do a more complete video. And that's why I wanted to do like a suspension video where just the front and the back together. But I think I'm going to break those up into separate videos where the front is one video and the back is another video, or, you know, a couple of videos, whatever, however long it takes. I just don't want it to take too long and make hour-long videos. Unless that's what you guys prefer, I could do that. So let me know in the comments, and yeah, thanks for watching.